Reading from the paragraph above. A considerable amount of knowledge is necessary for the aggressor. Persons attacked have no vaccine, the victims. Next paragraph. The question of whether new diseases could be used is of considerable interest. New class of disease-causing organisms. Now, what I failed to tell you, this book was published in 1969. On the scene, little new baby. Handling of blood and tissues without precaution causes infection. It is unaffected by any. It causes fatality in some cases and can be venereally transmitted in man. In the words of Dr. C.E. Gordon Smith, it presumably is also a biological warfare interest. They go on to talk about the possibilities of virus and bacteria being genetically manipulated. Here it is. So I, Xerox these pages, sent it all over the world, sent it to everybody, sent it to Kennedy, sent it to Cress. A week ago, I'm opening the book like this. I flipped this book over. And right on page 110, listen to this, ladies. A great deal of useful work has been done on the vervet monkey disease, which caused 7 deaths in Germany. Reports in the world. 9 of these have been supplied with infective material and or anti-sera, which is a vaccine. Are you with laboratories in the USA? 1 each in Germany, Panama, South Africa, Uganda, and the USSR. A non-infective complement fixing anti-reference laboratory. This is a report dated May 1968. Do you all understand?
Yeah.
A person whose name is May Brussels?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw in the paper that she had talked about on the TV, on the radio. She talked about the and that it was designed to counter anything that the Soviet Union might do, but somehow they sent it to the Soviet Union. And she also said that nations, the poor blacks, and the homosexual population. Now, anybody who is a student of Nazi Germany, I consider myself to be rid of the people he was classifying as non-white. And I say that the white homosexual population was used as the cover so that we wouldn't say, oh, everybody's colored. Attack, put the virus with that group, and then put the virus with the colored people. And so we are supposed to assimilate 50 million dead people. 50 million. It was 6 million Semites of the Jewish religion that people go around talking about the Holocaust. If I didn't have an understanding of white supremacy, I wouldn't either. The data would have been there and it would have passed me by. If I didn't understand what went back here, I would not have been able to put this in perspective. If it hadn't been for Melanin operating and taking me in that bookstore, I would not have this information. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I say that it's important to talk about AIDS, and if every black man, woman, and child does not change your behavior, because the virus is here. It doesn't matter how it got here, it is now here. And it can be passed on. They came up already had the virus. And 1 in 75 women already had it. Now I don't know. But the point is that the virus is here. And you don't know whether you have the virus or not because you don't have to be sick initially. So you can have the virus, and if you're running around enjoying everything, you see, and because of white supremacy, I wrote papers back in the 1970s, the politics of black male and homosexuality, to discuss how the white supremacy system, in order to survive genetically, put certain kinds of pressures on black men that would produce that. If you lynch and castrate men, you'll make them passive. And so we have an epidemic of black male bisexuality and homosexuality, and we didn't have the point though. The point is that therefore we have that potential of high virus activity amongst us. You know we have epidemic of drug use, again, because we have personality immaturity and the underdevelopment of psychosocial development, which will take place in the presence of oppression. We have adults who are having sexual activity with little children. Population and passed on from one child to another, because when children do not have mature parents, or only one parent in the home who was a teenager when she started having children, there is not adequate emotional, not because they are bad, not because they are dirty, but because they need a sense of closeness. And so they will engage in pathological activity, so that every black person, because we have to be here so that we can have some more Melanin Conferences. If we don't pay, you see, but people think, remember Earl Butts, the Secretary of Agriculture, who said all black people want is loose shit, that they can't control their behavior. Do you see what I'm saying? That they just gotta have it, I don't care nothing about it. We can surprise them. I'm here to testify it is. Okay? It's in my top 3. The point of a higher long-range objective. To bring justice and peace. That's how come the people who are supposed to dispense justice under white supremacy have on black robes. Do you see what I'm saying? That comes through even under white supremacy. So no, we have a purpose in being here. And our purpose is to make the planet and things that are going to allow us to be here. And not only that, see, just like when Howard University said you can't teach here anymore, I was supposed to go on that negative and the AIDS virus. You see, by causing black people to pull in, stop being so loose. Any urge, and you bring it on under your discipline, you lift your character to another level. So that the presence of AIDS and what we have found out about it has taught us some more critical information. You see, but we have been able to see, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said, who the devil is. Because only a devil, a doer of evil and injustice, could count and put it on people. So that call names and hunkiness, no. You are polite. You are respectful. But you know what you are looking at. So maybe we can finally get it into our heads that we are playing a game board. One side is the black-white players. One side is the white players. The other side is the black. People who have talked thus far at this conference, I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about the other people. Seriously. All of those brilliant people are to the back side of the chessboard. And stop running around talking about, I want to be on the white team. See, really, God is punishing that position. God said, I made you black because I wanted you to be that. You're behind, kicked until you do. What he, she doesn't matter. God is all the energy in the universe. Okay? And we have been confused, and we have been turned upside down, and we have been turned around, and we have been sent in the other direction. Come back and get right on beat. Rise the universe. See, we are going to find the answer to AIDS. I'm here to tell you. See, it means, and if we can get a sufficient number of people into the respect of their blackness, they will move wherever they need, and they will find the neutralization for that wicked virus, even if they don't bring it. But I do think this. I think as a black leader, if they're not talking about AIDS, and if they're not raising the question, why was this written about in a book? To the American Medical Association, I said, why? I sent it to the American Psychiatric Association. I sent it to the United Nations and said, just explain it to me. How this little in a book published in 1969. And since the books have gone everywhere, the white people know that the books are gone everywhere. And you haven't heard disinformation that don't ring true, but they haven't addressed the question, how could the little virus be talked about? So we ask that question, and if they can't come forward with an answer, then we say that you've got to be practicing biological warfare against us.
That's right.
And you better come forward with the treaty, charge us a penny for it.
All right.
Follow it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I could talk all night. Getting our melanin. Let me say this. Okay. Have to get an army. We're going to call all of the perfect black people. Come forward. Honestly. See, it's not a question of better, but we got trained to use the melanin instrument. Yes. But those perfect black people, the ones that everybody talked about. Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Yes. Did you ever think, did you ever wonder why they make the television black? They have to make the technology to compete with what some people already have in their nervous systems. That's right. That's right. Pictures, do all kinds of things, but I'm saying this. Nobody, doesn't matter whether you're black and white as a driven snow or perfect black. We all have to respect ourselves at the matter. We gotta say, come you all, come on. And practice using the instrument. That's right. Because if they think that they're gonna make some hydrogen bombs, some frequency with the melanin that can bring them out of the sky. Programs look pitiful. going to have some melanin counter-war. Weapons of justice. All has got to stop. All the underdevelopment of children has got to stop. All of the people who are playing around with making children and has got to stop. See, we got to have simultaneous war on many fronts. We are stopping AIDS. We are going to stop children having children. Why are we going to do that? We are going to produce parents, mothers who are 30 and fathers who are 30. These lazy vibrations, you all don't agree with that. I mean, can you feel the vibes? It was a direct drop. Still cold. Okay. But what am I talking about? See, it is a war. This is Armageddon. It is a war between the forces. Supremacy is the army of evil. And we have to produce soldiers who are willing and able to fight for justice. Are an underage, underdeveloped mother, an underage or underdeveloped father. You are going to produce thousands of black men behind bars, having sex with each other. Now that thing together. See, it's just like learning tactics and strategies, playing the black side of the chessboard. No, we are going to produce mature mothers and fathers. So those mothers, but use your pineal gland visualization screen. Bring to mind some moving around with great dignity, men and women, quiet and great dignity. And they are controlling the forces in the universe. They're not going to be doing it like this. How come they say this is your music? All that music to throw you off. See, we need music that will make soldiers respect themselves. Music that's talking about sock it to me, baby, super freak and whatever is not it. But those are some masterful plays coming from the other side of the chessboard. That's why I say to white people, you all are masters. See, it's evil, it's unjust, I don't agree with it, that destroy us. But if you have confidence in yourself, you always like a good challenge. So I tell them, play their best hand. Many people know that the under 14 chess champion in the United States is a black child. The first United States chess champion was a Ray Charles, is a master chess player and can't see the pieces. Plays with people who can see. Master chess player. I think there's something else to do today. But I have enjoyed talking with you. It's an inspiration for me to see you. Keep on melanin on. Somebody help me count. Any questions? Yes, sir. Real loud. Please sit down so that... Yes, sir.
In your talk, you mentioned homosexuality in the same breath. I just want to clarify that hopefully you're not equating all homosexuality and lesbianism with white.
No, I'm coming from, we didn't have homosexuality in Africa.
That's what I'm saying, I don't agree with that.
Okay, that's fine. Fine. Okay. He does not agree that lumped under coming from white supremacy. You know, I respect your point of view. Let me share with you where I'm coming from, okay? That if you do remove men from families and you still effeminize sons, first of all, because the women are angry with the men.
Right.
And so when they touch the male child, it's not a reinforcement of his masculinity. It's there you go looking like that no good father.
Yeah.
Move away from. In addition to that, Cress theory on homosexuality. I gave this program in Washington. I paid for this hotel room and had tea. Theory of homosexuality, not for the purpose of putting down anybody. That wasn't the point. But to talk about white supremacy as I understand homosexuality evolving out from under white supremacy. And guess what? Okay, but what I say is that if we look at the symbolism of the behavior itself, penis in the mouth, penis in the anus, which means that semen is being taken as a cry for male reinforcement. Now, homosexuality was the dominant form of sexuality in Greece and Rome. I say that the white people are albino mutants, and that's how they got in Europe. Okay, then they came back, but they're looking across the Mediterranean at those black men. And white men look at black men and see the standard of masculinity, inadequacy, into their genetic inadequacy, because the black men could cause genetic annihilation and the white women like the black men, just like we do. Okay. I mean, what the... Okay. So, wait a minute, so that that's the historic struggle. The black male, the white male versus the black male. Ethically, that's why he had to take power away from the black man. So I say that's my theory, and you know what we're doing is sharing ideas, so I'm not knocking yours out, I'm just giving you mine. That's how to make puzzles. And she said, first you got to put the outline. Get all the pieces with the smooth edge and lay them out first. Then you're going to have an easy time filling in the middle. And when we were little kids, she would say, no, the pieces have to fit smoothly. All the pieces have to fit together. And so I say that if you understand white supremacy, you can even understand sexism. See, sexism is what goes... Do you see where he says, I feel inadequate to the black man, and I'm going to make sure that you are inadequate to me. Like white people used to come to me when I was in medical school and say, oh, I had a hard time in medical school, but if you were a white woman in medical school with white men, you caught hell. Just like I said, my father didn't say you can't be anything, he said be a doctor. You see, because now we got some little remnants of it, but we don't have what exists in the white population. And I'm saying that you can put all the pieces together if you understand the white transmitted AIDS in Africa, because the people are not into homosexuality. You see what I'm saying? And they don't have drug addiction because for the most part, they may be developing some of it in the cities. But if you take good care of babies, fathers, they don't have that kind of longing, that heroin. You see, in other words, under ideal conditions, that the black mother and black father mature, have a baby, their own work. And so the baby feels comfortable and is able to create those patterns of chemistry, neurochemistry, on its own. And so you could even put, here's your daily supply, Francis, of heroin, and here's your PCP. But if I have been held on the lap long enough of mature parents that said, cool, is piling up, I don't need it.
All right.
This is a thing that's been put on us. White supremacy has put us all into a distortion. You see, because of what? They're afraid of the melanin. That's right. Next question. Yes.
I listened to the tape that was played on the radio a while, and I've listened to this part over and over again, and I'm still confused because you explain how, well, the question was asked that by, mixing their gene pool or endangering their species by letting in melanin or people, carrying melanin. And you explain how that is the opposite. It's more detrimental.
That every time a war is fought, the general, let's say the general who is attacking or the aggressor, the general has to calculate how many of them, you see, so that under white supremacy, The ultimate goal objective is to checkmate the king and the queen. You put them in bed with you. They simply don't inherit your power. I mean, don't we have enough? Look at this room. All of these different colors of miscegenation, white men in bed with black women. If that was going to get it, whatever. Do you need one time? No matter whether I'm on the top or the bottom on those sheets, I have conquered their computers. That's right, because I mean, I used to be and tell whether he was sleeping with a white woman. Right. We're not talking about putting down. We're talking about the war. There are many ways to kill a soldier.
That's right. Hey.
You see, just like your grandparents. If you don't believe me, heck, there's some material from both a speech that he gave to his cabinet in South Africa.
That's right.
Where he talks about the sex squad with him.
That's right.
Have you seen all these black ball players, $1 million ball players, fighting the dust? Do you know the older black man a coach told me? He said after this 6'8", 7'2" giant, ooh, you are wonderful. I'd like to go out on a date with you. Every black man, I mean, maybe we got some exceptions who'll stand up. Brothers, if you all will testify, who is your ideal image? It's like, oh, he's so cute, he's so light-skinned, he's got that curly hair, and the men are saying, ooh, who can withstand Cynthia Finkelstein falling all over a black arm? That soldier's bitten the dust. That's why Neely Fuller says in his book, a black man who is trying to counter white supremacy and a white girl says, white lady, I'd really like to talk with you sometime. And Neely Fuller says, I don't go into any room with you alone. Let me fend off your attack. Wait a minute, you know how you conquer the enemy. 1,000 victories. My own nephew said to me, he's 28 years old. Maybe when he was about 24, 25, he said, Francis, what do you think looking at those magazines, Penthouse, Esquire, it is, ladies and gentlemen? Do you understand? Do you see how quiet the vibes just went trickling on down? Now you spend just like a black woman, she's looking at Jesus, blonde hair and blue eyes. Jesus, I love you. Jesus, save. Now, how is she going to really relate to a black man? Ladies and gentlemen, let me. Who has a question? Yes, sir. Make it easy.
I understand that Mary was about 14 and 15-year-olds when she had Jesus. We have to take care of our grandkids. That's right, our grandchildren. This society does not allow a young black man to take money legally enough to support a family. That's a phenomenon we're going to have to deal with. So as we get older and we have children that are, if the education don't go through the 14, 15-year-olds, we're going to have to teach the grandkids. And that's what's going to happen. You're not going to keep, and haven't stopped it for millions of years, young people having babies. No such thing as children having children. If they have children, they're not children.
But let me share with you my point of view. Don't leave. I'm
saying that we have to stop being so materialistic and selfish. And we have to look at the real values that we're talking about. So
let me answer. Right, let me just answer in these words. psychiatrist, a child psychiatrist, and a general psychiatrist. Do you know what children feel towards parents who abandon them? Come on. Because now she was 20 and the child was 6, and she felt she couldn't deal with it anymore. Or what the male child feels towards the father that he never saw because he ran because it feels like killing other black men. And so if we want to understand the black male on black male homicide, you got to come to terms with little children who say, you made a contract to stay with me and to take care of me. Now, grandmother was fine. Auntie was fine. The foster home was painful. The adoptive parents gave me everything materially that I want, but I'm to make people strong. We've got all kind of people taking heroin out of depression because they never felt mother love and father love. You gotta know that that personality has already been warped, and we're not gonna make it, and we're gonna teach the children why they can't do it. Absolutely. If you think that you can't stop having sex, that's like saying I can't stop urinating when I want to. Place, and you can learn when to put the penis and the vagina together to bring it down.